Hello there, a very good morning. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, let's start off with news here at home. Let's start off with details on a massive drug bust reported from Dikwella. Now, one person has been arrested in Urugamur, Dikwella, with approximately 33 kilograms of heroin in his possession. The arrest was made during a raid conducted by the Police Narcotics Bureau. Now, the 42-year-old suspect is a resident of Urugamur. The suspect is scheduled to be produced before court today. On to some election-related news now. The National Election Commission says that the date for the upcoming local government election will be announced today. And the deadline for the acceptance of nominations for this election is also set to conclude at 12 noon today. Thereafter, objections related to the nominations will be taken up for consideration. On to more local news now. A special vaccination program for typhoid fever has commenced for individuals engaged in the food production and related processes. Secretary of the Public Health Inspectors Association of Sri Lanka, Chamil Muthukuda, said that the vaccine is being administered at the Medical Officer of Health or MOH office level. He also emphasized that in the future, it will be mandatory for those intending to work in food production related services to have a medical report indicating that they have indeed received this typhoid vaccination. National Salt Limited says that table salt will soon be released to the Sri Lankan market under a government label. This will coincide with the handover of the Elephant Pass salt factory to the public on the 29th of this month. Chairman of National Salt Limited, Gayan Vellala, said that table salt will be released to the market at a very affordable price under the brand Raja Luno from their factory. The chairman also mentioned that the production of granulated salt, which has been produced and released to the market by the government, will also be expanded. Moving on to more local news now. The government has decided to restart providing pensions for farmers in the country. Chairman of the Agricultural and Agrarian Development Insurance Board, Premasiri Jasingha Arachi, said that life insurance coverage will also be provided to the farmers in our country. Meanwhile, the Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Board also says that the compensation for crop damages caused due to heavy rainfall towards the end of last year has by now been completed. Now, the compensation amount provided to 53,503 farmers amounts to 952 million rupees. However, some farmers claim that they have not received compensation, and this is due to irregularities in confirming farmer identities as well as assessment reports. In more local news, the Department of Examinations has released recorrection results of the 2024 Grade 5 Scholarship Examination, and the Ministry of Education now says that applications for schools based on these revised marks is now being accepted. Principals have been provided with the relevant application forms, which parents must obtain from the principal of the school to which that child went to in grade 5 and then fill that form correctly. The Department of Government Information announced that duly completed application forms must be returned to that principal, who must then submit them online before the 25th of March. Finally, on to the weather news update for this morning. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Mannar districts after 2 p.m. today. Fairly heavy showers of about 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota as well as Polonnaruwa districts. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and Uva provinces and in the Gaul, Mathura and Kurunegala districts during the morning hours. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. We move on to news overseas for this morning now. Something that is being widely discussed around the world is the situation in Ukraine concerning Russia's invasion on the country, and the U.S. has intervened by now. So U.S. President Donald Trump has said, has held what he described as a very good hour-long telephone call with his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky a day after speaking to Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Writing on his social media platform Truth Social, Trump said that the call was aimed at aligning Ukraine and Russia, quote-unquote, in terms of their requests and needs, adding that a ceasefire effort was on track by now. Now, Zelensky described his conversation with Trump as positive, frank and very substantive. He wrote on X, quote, "We believe that together with America, with President Trump and under American leadership, lasting peace can be achieved this year," unquote. Speaking during an online briefing on Wednesday, Zelensky said he and Trump had discussed possible U.S. ownership of the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia power plant. Zelensky admits that that Europe's largest power plant, which is on the front line, could take more than 2 years to be made operational again and is vital for Ukrainians as well as Europeans. He also said that a halt on strikes on energy infrastructure, rail as well as port facilities could be established quickly as part of a partial ceasefire brokered by Washington and Kiev, but Zelensky warned that Ukraine would retaliate if Moscow violated the terms of this ceasefire agreement. Allow me to shift your attention to the Middle East now. Israel says it has extended its ground operations in Gaza after launching a wave of airstrikes that the Hamas-run health ministry says killed more than 430 people in 2 days. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, said troops had moved in up to the Netzarim corridor, which divides the north and the south of the Gaza Strip. The renewed assault on Gaza marks the end of the fragile ceasefire deal that had been in place since January this year. Earlier, the UN said 2 people, including one of its staff, had been killed after an explosion at its compound in Deir al-Bala. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson said it would launch an investigation into the matter, but denied that Israel was to blame. The IDF said it had begun targeted ground activities to create what it called a partial buffer between the north and south of the Gaza Strip. Now, the BBC says it has seen evacuation orders issued to the areas the military is moving into, including Beit Hanun in northern Gaza. It has issued numerous orders to Gazans to leave a huge area along the 3 sides of the territory's land borders, suggesting that a larger ground operation could shortly take place. Well, that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Let's meet once again tomorrow right here on TV1 at 7 a.m. with more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.